Hey everyone, welcome to the STWAD gaming channel. Did I say that right? STWAD. I think I said STWAD. I'm not sure what I said to be honest, but anyway, we're going into my STWAD Obby where I get to show you some of the changes that I've made, which are super cool. Unfortunately, in this video, I don't even complete it yet again. So it goes to show you can create something and still be terrible at it. Well, that's in my case anyway. Obviously, I can make some changes to make it a bit easier, but I don't really want to do that because, it has to be somewhat challenging. Although what's really weird is that I think I played it on a phone and I got through it like straight away, which was so weird. Anyway, so the same things that you can see from the last video are here again. You got the wooden sort of pathway with the electric hedges, which is can be challenging, but for some people they'll find it really easy. Obviously, I'm taking my time with it because the amount of times I've moved too forward and ended up going right into the electric hedge and out of the game. Now, as you could see, the good thing is from the last video where it says coins, it said books last time, so we're making some progress. If you do play the game on the iPad or the phone, or mobile, whatever you call it, it will actually accumulate coins. So I don't know why it doesn't do that on the Xbox. These ice glaciers can be pretty tricky, of course, but also, I mean, that's part of the fun of the challenge. So, as you can see, so the little beams I've ended up knocking into. The other thing that is good about this is that I got my eldest son to play it, and he ended up finding a little cheat pretty much on how to get past one of the levels. So it hasn't been fixed as of yet, but I will fix it. There's also some people who are looking for the game might not be able to find it for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. I tried to look for it on a different account to my normal account, and I don't know why, but it just wouldn't show up in the search results. But then my youngest son, he checked it out, and he pretty much found it straight away, which was really unusual. So it seems that if you, I don't know if it's got to do with a different device, maybe it's got something to do with what you use to search for it, but I'm not 100% sure. So as you can see there, that is the little, I guess the tip or little hack, or I don't know what they call it, but pretty much, yeah, that's a quick way to get through part of it. At the moment, like I said, because we will be going through and changing that. What's frustrating about that particular piece there is sometimes you'll just do it and get over it straight away, and then other times it's almost like it senses you touching it every single time. Apparently, a trick to that is being as close to that little what would you call it, sort of raised little boxed part there. Oops, completely mucked that one up. Anyway, and then sort of you jump up and then move the joystick forward or the controller forward as you're doing it. Generally, that helps a lot. On the other hand, if you do manage to do something where your head rolls off and it lands on the checkpoint, you won't even have to worry about it. So that can be fun. The amount of times that I've mucked around on this particular obby and ended up touching the side of something and dying, and then as I respawned, because my head or part of the body for my character ended up touching the checkpoint, I ended up passing it, so that was pretty cool. Finally, I'll get past that. Now we're on to the next part. And well, you can collect coins by, accidentally touching the electrical little cubes or squares or whatever they're meant to be. So I think the other good thing is how you can make them bigger or smaller and wider, longer, however you want to. There is a part on this when you get up to it that has like clear stepping blocks, and they all look the same, but some are electrified and some are not. So you've got to pretty much figure out like which ones you can jump on and which ones you can't. So hopefully though that a lot of people will get up to that point. Now, of course, just because I've struggled with part of it doesn't mean you guys will. I'm sure a lot of you will get through it fairly quickly. Yep, this is the next part. Of course, it's pretty easy to know what side you need to jump on and what side you can't. I don't know what it is. When I first did this, where you sort of walk along the beams, like I mentioned, I played with this on the phone. I got through it straight away. And then I played it on the Xbox, which I figured would be a lot easier, and to some degree it is. But yeah, it has taken me ages. So I ended up making the beams a little bit wider even, that's why I'm kind of a bit like, what is going on? But I'm going to do some more work on this at some point, just so that I can fix a few things. Hopefully we get the coin thing sorted out on the Xbox console, but if we don't, it doesn't really matter. You can at least have a crack at getting through the obstacle course and seeing how you go with that. Once you get to like that checkered part up ahead there, that's pretty easy to get straight through. And then you get to the clear part. The maze, of course, is pretty easy to get through at this point because all you have to do is change your view so that you see like pretty much exactly where you're going and what's happening and where you need to go. I was going to try and make the maze a bit higher, but unfortunately that particular maze that I picked to add to the game, it doesn't do things that way. It just, if you try and stretch it upwards, it just makes the maze longer instead of going up. So I might look into seeing what other mazes are available. See how that, I don't understand why it keeps doing that. It's so frustrating. But anyway, eventually, it's not too long before I pack it in and end up quitting this game and moving on to the next game, which I love, which is Theme Park Tycoon 2. So if you haven't played Theme Park Tycoon 2, have a go. It's actually a lot of fun. You can build stuff, just so many different things. Like, it's not just about building a theme park. If you get the opportunity to view other people's parks while you're on there, you'll get to see like some of the amazing stuff that people actually do. It's really cool. Some people have built like a full-on like mountain forest area where roller coasters are going through it. Some people have been able to recreate Disneyland, the theme park. Some people have recreated some Australian theme parks. There's a theme park we have in Australia on the Gold Coast called Dreamworld, and they've kind of combined Dreamworld and Movie World rides into one park. It's almost like they've just combined Dreamworld and Movie World together, which make a pretty interesting park actually, because combine all the roller coasters they've got all together, it'd be pretty cool. So it looks like we're almost at the end of this particular obby, thankfully. Is it now? Yes, we're leaving. Let's go to Theme Park Tycoon 2. And the other thing that is really good right now is it's time for another story. So while you check out my park on this, I will also be checking out other people's parks. And at the end, there's a little extra part where I've had a look at another park where somebody has done some pretty cool stuff. I'd give more detail, but I actually can't remember what they did. So, anyway, so sit back, relax, and get ready for story time with Aussie Dad because we're going to be reading this awesome story called The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Hard luck. This will be part 2. All right, enjoy. Friday. I hate to say it, but Mum's prediction about me and Rowley is starting to come true. Ever since Abigail and Rowley got together, Abigail has been sitting at our lunch table, which is all boys. I already mentioned how she's not a fan of the chocolate milk bubble blowing thing, but there's a lot of other stuff she doesn't like either. One of them is the 5-second rule. All the guys at our table agree that if you drop a piece of food on the floor, as long as you pick it up within 5 seconds, it's still okay to eat. A new twist someone came up with recently is that you can grab a piece of food off the floor even if you're not the one who actually dropped it. I've lost 2 chocolate chip cookies and a fudgesicle that way already. This new rule has caused some other problems though. Yesterday, Freddie Harlahan ate a piece of ham off the floor because he thought Carl Dumas dropped it, but it was actually there from the group that had lunch before us. It might have even been there from before that because Freddie started to feel sick and ended up in the nurse's office for the rest of the day. Something tells me they don't have the 5-second rule at the table Abigail used to sit at, or probably any of the other girls' tables either. Another thing I'll bet they don't have is French Fry Fridays. They serve burgers in the cafeteria every Friday, but the meat is grey and tastes like a wet sponge. Plus, they serve sweet potato fries now instead of regular French fries. But Nolan Tiago's mum works part-time in a library, and every Friday she brings Nolan a cheeseburger and fries from the fast food place on the corner. Nolan eats his fries, but he always lets the rest of us have whatever falls out into the bag. And I've seen kids practically come to blows over a few cold French fries. We decided the only way to prevent someone from getting hurt was to split the fries up evenly. So we brought in Alex Aruda to divvy them and give everyone an equal number. The rest of us keep an eye on Alex to make sure he's not taking any extra for himself. Some kids eat all their fries at once, but I nibble mine real slow to make them last as long as possible. But no matter how many fries we get, it's never enough. Today there were only 3 fries in the bag, and we had to split them 10 ways. So you had a couple of kids playing Nolan a dime, each just to smell the fries on his breath. And I think that's what made Abigail finally decide to look for another place to sit. When Abigail moved to a different table, she took Rowley with her. But that's fine with me, because it means more French fries for the rest of us. Abigail and Rowley moved to the couples table, which is the only place in the whole cafeteria where there's still room to sit. After the Valentine's Day dance, almost all the couples in our grade broke up, so Rowley and Abigail didn't have any trouble finding a spot. The reason the couples have a whole table all to themselves is because no one else can stand to be around them. Let me just say that you couldn't pay me to sit and watch Abigail feed Rowley his pudding every day. The second that Rowley and Abigail left our table, 2 guys slid right into their empty spots. There aren't enough seats in the cafeteria for all the kids in our lunch period, so there's actually a line to get one. If you didn't get a seat on the first day of school, you're out of luck. There are some kids who have been waiting since September, and they'll probably still be waiting for a seat on the last day of school. I feel pretty lucky I got a seat, because the people who didn't get one have to find a place to sit anywhere they can. The kids in the middle of the line have pretty much given up hope that they're going to get a seat, so some of them have started selling their spots to the kids behind them. I heard that Brady Connor sold his position at the number 15 spot to Glenn Harris, who was one spot back, for $5 and an ice cream sandwich. Unfortunately for me, the two kids in the front of the line were Earl Dremel and his twin brother Andy, and they took Abigail and Rowley's spots. Earl and Andy have phys ed right before lunch, and those guys both fake their gym showers just like I do. Even though I sit at a table with a bunch of guys, I wouldn't call any of them my actual friends, because when we head outside for recess, we all go our separate ways. I used to hang out with Rowley during recess, but those days are over. It's probably time for me to strike out on my own, but the problem is, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. First of all, there are some kids I have to watch out for on the playground. A few years ago, Mum invited a bunch of my classmates to my birthday party, but she thought I already had enough toys and she said so on the invitation. Usually when you open presents at your birthday party, all the other kids are jealous. But at my party, I think people just felt sorry for me. Unfortunately, Mum's idea caught on with a bunch of other mums in our neighbourhood, and nowadays I have to be careful whenever I see a kid walking around at recess carrying a new book. Then there's Leon Feast and his gang. I got into a situation with those guys a few summers ago, and there's been bad blood between us ever since. One day, me and Rowley went down to the school to ride our bikes on the basketball court, but Leon and his friends showed up a few minutes later. They told us that we were going to have to leave so they could play basketball. I told Leon we could make a compromise and they could have one half of the court and we could ride our bikes on the other. But they didn't like that idea and gave us the boot. On the ride home, I was really mad that we let ourselves get pushed around like that, and I wanted to do something about it. A few days later, Mum asked me out of the blue if I wanted her to sign me up for the Superhero Training Academy. She showed me the flyer, and I was sold. I couldn't wait to graduate from the Superhero Training Academy and show Leon and his gang a thing or two. Rowley's mum signed him up too, and we were both pretty excited about it. But on the first day, I realised it was a total scam. First of all, the Superhero Training Academy was in the gymnastics room at the YMCA, and not some secret bunker underneath the building. Then I found out the whole superpower part was a joke. So me and Rowley were stuck in day camp for a week while our mums ran errands, and at the end, we didn't even get masks or costumes or anything cool like that. We just got these stupid certificates. A few weeks later, we went down to the school on our bikes again, and sure enough, Leon and his friends were on the basketball court. But I guess I should have given Rowley the heads up that his superhero training was totally worthless. Aside from the kids I need to avoid, like Leon, there are a few different groups that hang out together at recess, but I don't think I really fit in with any of them. There are some kids who play a fantasy card game and another group that just hangs out and reads. Then there's a group that plays on the field. A few months ago, the school banned any games that involve a ball because too many kids were getting hurt. So these guys made up a game where somebody's shoe is the ball. But don't even ask me what the point of the game is. Eric Glick hangs out with his sketchy friends behind the school where the teachers can't see them. I've heard that if you want to buy an old book report or homework assignment, he's the guy to talk to. The girls hang out in groups too. There's one that just jumps rope near the side of the school and another that does hopscotch 50 feet away. I've heard the two groups don't get along, but I have no idea what that's all about. I tell you the group I wish I could join, and that's the girls who hang out near the cafeteria door and gossip about everyone who walks by. I've tried to slip into that group before, but it's pretty clear outsiders aren't welcome. The only place where boys and girls hang out together is on the playground. Some of the kids have started playing girls chase boys, which was a big thing back in elementary school. I've tried to get in on the girls chase boys game over the years, but most of the girls are only interested in chasing the popular guys like Bryce Anderson. Every so often during girls chase boys, somebody will yell out and flip the whole game. It goes back and forth like that until the bell rings and it's time to go inside. The only problem with that game is that they never say what you're supposed to do when you actually catch someone. I remember the time in 5th grade when we were playing Boys Chase Girls and I caught Cara Punter fair and square. Cara reported me to the playground monitor who made me sit against the wall for the rest of recess. I'm pretty sure the school called my parents too. I think the school realised there are some kids who have trouble joining in with the others at recess. So a few weeks ago, they turned the bully reporting station on the playground into a find a friend station. I always thought the find a friend station was a lame idea, but it's not like I have a lot of options these days. I don't know if people didn't notice the blue light going off or if everyone was just too busy playing girls chase boys, but no kids came over. I think Mr. Nerm must have felt sorry for me because he walked over with a box of checkers. I guess it was better than nothing, but I hope Mr. Nern doesn't think this is going to be a regular thing. Alright, and that's the end of the story for today. Make sure that you continue to watch the videos. You can also skip ahead, of course, until the story is being read instead of watching all the stuff to do with the games. But keep your eyes out for more videos, and we'll also be having more of Diary of a Wimpy Kid Hard Luck until we finish it off. Alright, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care of yourselves, and until next time, bye for now.